Hi, the Mudbrooker here. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Easy Beezy. This is a product made by a fella here on YouTube, Steven Strawn, and he has a channel called Cast Iron Cookware. Great channel. I'm going to leave links to his channel in the description, and if you're interested in this stuff you can order it up there. This is a beeswax and oil product. This uses avocado and grapeseed oil, if I can get it open. It comes in a handy dandy little stick. Now the sharp-eyed among you will notice that this stick has been used a little bit. That's because I shot this video once before. Fantastic video, you would have loved it. But there were some digital disasters in the editing process and I decided just to start over again. But anyhow, before we get started, I would, as always, like to thank my patrons on Patreon. Kay's Kist, Benedict Riggers, Joy Jones, Damian Bamer, Leo, Dan Sturgill, Sue Beck, Theodore Engelke, Valentin Tolman, and Rudy Valvano. And today, in their honor, I will be drinking a little Mathilde blackcurrant liqueur. Not terribly potent, but it's pretty good stuff. Here's to you guys. Alright, now this is pretty easy to use. You simply warm up your pans, rub some on, wipe off the excess and put them back in the oven. So what I'll do now is take a little break for a few minutes, get these pans warmed up, and we will start with the application process. But before we do that, I'm going to show you what these pans are just to satisfy your curiosity. They're all nice little vintage pans. This is a number 7 National. National is a brand that was made by Wagner Ware from roughly 1900 up until about 1930-35 or so. This one is a number 9 favorite Pico Wear. These are very popular. They're a nice light pan and collectors really are snapping these up left and right. And like I said, they're fairly light. And they were in business up until about 1935. This is kind of a mystery pan. It has a raised FC on the back, as you can see. It has a raised number 9 on the handle. And I picked this one specifically because you can see, hopefully, there's marks from machining from where this was machined smooth on the inside, and a little bit of faint rust pitting. I want to see how well the beeswax in this does at filling in little minor imperfections like that and smoothing out the bottom surface. I don't know who made this pan, but I suspect what they did is they used a finished skillet from another manufacturer as a pattern, filled in the lettering and numbers and whatnot on the back, and put their own mark on the mold. But anyhow, like I said, I will get my oven warmed up, warm these pans up a little bit, and we'll slap on a little Easy Beezy and see what happens. Alrighty, I put these in the oven at 200 degrees to get them warmed up good, so they're still pretty hot. You just take your stick and you rub it on. And I do like this stick. It's a pretty handy little thing to have. You don't necessarily have to cover it all entirely because you're going to take a rag and wipe it around and wipe off most of the excess. And I'm going to do these one at a time so they stay nice and warm. Flip that over, give her a good application on the back. Now you want 2 rags for this. You want one rag to wipe it on. Wipe it around, get her worked in good, get everything good and covered. And once you've done that, you're going to take another rag and you're going to wipe off any excess. Now these are both pretty new, fairly clean rags, but as you use your rag for wiping on, it'll build up a fair amount of the Easy Beezy, and you can use that later on to apply your next coat, because you only need very thin coats. Now the instructions, I need a little bit more there on my 9. There we go. The instructions tell you to put it in the oven once you got it all applied, rubbed on and rubbed off, at 500 degrees for an hour. And I'm going to do that, put them in upside down. And this here's my wiping off cloth. At 500 degrees for an hour upside down. Something else I should mention is, this isn't a paid endorsement. I bought this stuff myself, and I really doubt Steven would recognize my real name if he went through his customer database. And he doesn't even know I'm doing this until I actually post this video. So I'm going to set this one aside, grab my other 2 pans quick, and then we'll get them ready to blast at 500 degrees. This is my next pan. This is at Pico Wear. When you wear this down to the paper wrapping, all you have to do is trim that paper off a little bit to expose a new section of the Easy Beezy, but this stuff lasts quite a while. You know, I haven't used a whole lot of it on the pans that I've already done, so you just peel off a little paper and you're good for the next go around. You'll notice that these are nice, bright, clean gray iron. We'll see what kind of color you end up with after we get done with this. But this here's my second pan, and I won't bore you watching me rubbing stuff on this one and the other. And we'll come back when it's time to put them in the oven. Here's all 3 pans. I've given them their first application of the Easy Beezy, and they're ready to go in the oven at 500 degrees for 1 hour. Something important I learned making the first video: when you put these in the oven at 500 degrees, make sure that your oven is preheated before you put them in. If it's not all the way heated up, especially with an electric oven, the radiant heat from the element will get the iron a lot hotter than 500 degrees, and it'll smoke. It won't smoke, or at least it didn't for me before, if everything's preheated and at 500 degrees. So keep that in mind. Don't try and take a shortcut and throw them in when your oven's only halfway warmed up. I'm going to throw these in. The instructions recommend at least 2 applications. I'm going to give these 3, and once I'm done with the third one, we'll come back and have a look at what we get for results. I've given these pans 3 applications of the Easy Beezy, and this is what they turned out like. As you can see, they have a really nice dark golden brown color to them after only 3 applications. So if you like your pans nice and black, this is a real good start, and I'm really pleased with the color on them. I usually don't worry too much about the color you get initially, but these will darken more with use. And if I had put on 2 or 3 more coats, I'm sure it probably would have blackened them right up entirely. This is how that number 7 National turned out. The other one I was really curious about how it would work on was this FC Mystery Pan. It had a little bit of rust pitting in the bottom, and it had some marks, some machine marks in it. And it gives a nice hard slick surface, and it did kind of fill in some of the fine pitting, some of the fine roughness to it. If I gave it a few more coats, it would probably help a little bit more. It's not going to smooth this up entirely, turn it to something silky smooth, but it does seem to help fill in a little bit of roughness pretty good, even after a few applications. Like I said, overall, I'll set this guy aside, and this is that favorite Pico Wear. Like I said, overall I'm really pleased with this product, and I'll probably continue to use it. But like I've always said, what really seasons a pan is continued repeated use. Whatever seasoning you use, whether it's Easy Beezy or similar products, there are other products out there that are beeswax and oil based. They use different oils, different formulas, and most of them come in either a paste or a little chunk of wax, looks like a hockey puck. I like this stick. This is really handy, and you can get into little nooks and crannies with it nice. And it comes with a handy dandy little storage tube that you can put it in when you're done. And overall, I'd say I definitely recommend this. But this will definitely provide a very good base on which to start cooking on this and get these thoroughly seasoned and blackened through repeated use. Like I said, this isn't a paid endorsement, but I am endorsing it. There's no discount code. If you go over to his website and say TheMudbrooker sent me, you ain't going to get 10% off. You'll probably get a blank look and say, well, okay, that's nice. But other than that, that's my review of Easy Beezy. A pretty good product. I like it, and I'll probably keep on using it, especially since I already have a stick of it. But when that's gone, I'll order another one. And after the second application, there was enough Easy Beezy soaked into the rag I used to wipe it around with that my third coat, all I had to do was take that rag and wipe everything down, and that put enough on to go ahead and bake them up again. So it's really pretty economical, because once you got a rag that's a little bit soaked in it, you'll get enough off of that to put your next coat on a lot of times. Anyhow, that wraps this up. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you later.